want to have you think about your own personal epistemologies. And again, you can go back and you can use these ideas. I'm showing you really quickly the slides again. Go back to these slides. Use these slides as ways of thinking about how you express your own particular ideas. And so for the final discussion question, so if you were in class, this would be our final activity for the day. So online, I'd like you to do this in Yellowdig. This will also be in module 1 topics. So think about how different personal epistemologies. Think about the difference between a person that thinks that the only knowledge that counts is empirical knowledge, in which we have to observe through experiment. That is, it has to come from the outside world, versus a person that thinks that the only knowledge we should really trust is like the purity of ideas that can be arrived at in our own head without appealing to the possible subjective failures of our sensory experiences. Think about the difference between a behaviorist or a person that has more of a cognitive perspective, okay? Based on these different perspectives, that might change how people approach teaching or learning. So again, with the theme of module 1, getting you thinking about your own personal views of learning, now that we've talked about this epistemology idea, I want you to think about how different epistemologies might affect how people approach teaching and or learning. And that includes how your epistemologies might affect your approaches to teaching or learning. And this is really at the heart of your first paper. I want you to put down your thoughts about teaching and learning. And these are essentially, in many ways, your epistemologies about teaching and learning. And then over the course, we're going to introduce these different perspectives. I shared with you some of them today. And then you can use those different perspectives to go back and consider your own thoughts. You're getting those original thoughts down. Those are your preconceptions. Now you're taking this course. And at the end of the course, you're going to write another paper where you go back to the stuff you wrote at the beginning of the course. And you're going to use course ideas to make connections and refinements and reflection on your original views to update your view. So you'll have an updated personal view of learning. You'll have updated epistemologies about learning. And then the second part of your final paper, after you've reflected, is to now take your updated view and apply it. And again, we'll provide more information on all of this. So I hope that you at least have a sense now of what epistemology is and how there's different ways in which people think about what knowledge is, where it comes from, what it is exactly. And that perhaps some of these views might more or less align with how you think about learning. But the key here is for you to think about how you think about learning and then use ideas on the different perspectives of teaching and learning to figure out, what do you think is most important? What do you agree with more or less? So I thank you for watching this video, and I wish you the best in this module 1.